Hello students, this is Dr. Praveen Tripathi, Faculty Psychiatry, Cerebellum Academy, and with me is the legendary faculty, Dr. Goga sir.
Namaskar.
And today we would be discussing a very important thing, the strategy to crack NEET PG examination for those who are doing a job. So this question has been asked multiple times to me, and sir receives almost a couple of questions every day on his social media that sir, I am doing a job, I have a kid, and I am in periphery. How can I study and how can I crack the examination? So we thought that let's make a strategy only for those who are doing a job and still want to crack the exam. All right. Before we start talking about the solutions, we try to collect as much information as possible from different people who are in the job, and we try to kind of find out the patterns, the problems that most of them are facing. So these were the common problems that we found that are being faced by most of the students. The first and the foremost, Goga sir, is this question.
This is one question which has been asked almost by everyone who is in job.
Correct.
That is it too late?
Is it too late?
So that is the most biggest problem, that the students start getting self-doubt when the students start thinking that the time has passed.
So the common thing is that sir, interns started preparing in January, post interns started preparing in January, and now we are in August, September, July. Is it too late? So we'll talk about this thing, but this is the first problem. Second thing, GRJ sir, this is very common. So sometimes we talk to the students and we tell them that you start, don't worry. They start preparing and then they look at the quantum of the course and then they get overwhelmed and anxious that this cannot be completed. So this is the second biggest thing that we saw in our students. Third thing, sir, comparison. You were just talking about it.
Yes. So the students, particularly who are working, so they think that we do not have enough time, and the person who is intern or post intern who is not doing a job, they have started almost simultaneously, but he sees that because of lesser time due to his duties, he starts lagging behind.
Okay.
So he start comparing with the other one, and more self-doubt comes in.
And that is quite demotivating for many of them. So as sir has been saying, self-doubt. This question is very common. Sometimes we get the question that sir, I passed out 4 years back and there was a huge gap. Will I be able to do it? Or as sir was saying that others started earlier than me. Will I be able to do it? And this lack of discipline, right? Say you started studying, but then you had a 24-hour duty and then you took a 5-day break, right? So lack of discipline starts creeping in, and before you know, you had stopped the studies, and before you know, 1 month has passed. So sir, lack of discipline is again a very common issue. So time limitations and lack of appropriate source.
So definitely they are working. So if you're working, you do not get that much time as a person who is 24 hours studying. 24-hour time is there for study. So lack of time is one, obviously a big problem, and that lead to the even more bigger problem is if you see the currently available resources through which a student starts studying. Yeah? So they are so overwhelming that the student just see that and say that I cannot do that.
Correct.
So that is a big problem.
So what Jiaji sir is trying to very rightly point out is that there are not many resources which have been designed in such a way that a person with a limited amount of time can cover those resources and revise them also. So this is a huge issue, a huge mismatch between what is available to you and what you have to cover. And finally, this is another important point. Many people feel that they are left alone, right? Because they are in the job, most of their colleagues are not preparing, they are working, and most of the people who are studying are kind of in a different group. They have no interaction. So they feel that they are alone, they don't know whom to talk to, they don't have anybody to share their problems with, and that further creates issues for them. So all these things we were observing for many months, and then we thought that how can we help our students who are in the job to crack the examination. So now let's talk about the solutions. So we'll talk about the solutions one by one, and we'll take care of all the problems. So first of all, is it too late? GRG sir.
So it's never too late. We say that you are not defeated unless you accept that accept the loss.
Right.
So you are winner if you think you are a winner. So it is never too late. You can start now, and at this moment we have enough time. So if you keep yourself disciplined, you can definitely crack the exam this year.
So even if we say that the exam will happen in January, let's take the the guess that it is going to happen in January. Even then we have almost 5 months left. And also students, we always point this out that NEET PG examination, even INICT examination remains heavily factual. Concepts are definitely there, conceptual questions are coming there, but concepts are also being asked about the facts. So any examination which is heavy on facts can be cracked even when the preparation starts later. Why? Somebody who started in January, he studied, he ratified, he had some information. By the time he reached September, some information is already gone, right? So you have to keep on revising it, you have to keep reinventing the information in your head. Only then you are able to recall it. So somebody who's starting late but starting at a higher pace, starting regularly, start being more disciplined, that person can, if he can continue till the examination date, may get a huge edge. Because what we also see is somebody started preparation in Jan, but by the time it was May or June, the preparation, the intensity went down, and then they lose time. In comparison, somebody who started very late but kept the intensity up may actually have an advantage. So as Gobind sir said, it is never too late. It is never over till it is actually over. Enough time is left. Forget about 5 months. We have seen so many students starting just 3 months before the examination, following the right strategy and cracking it.
And as in terms of Dr. Apur's comparison with the cricket,
Right.
so the NEET PG exam is not a T20.
Right.
It is a test match.
Mm.
Yeah? So if you have started very early, but if you are not consistently studying, so persistence is one thing which is very important. If you are not consistently studying, so in the end days, during the last few overs, so it will matter that if someone else comes and scores more, so that he can overpower the other one. So that is very important.
Correct. So I think it's very clear that it's not too late, it's never too late. And if you have this thought in the mind that you have to crack the examination, start today. Start now. Take action now. All right. Starting and getting overwhelmed. Again, so this is a problem as much of the student as it is of the resource, right? So if we start something and if we have to cover a huge amount of course, it's obvious that anybody would get overwhelmed. So one of the solution is to create a resource which is more structured, which is better organized, and which is something which is comprehensive enough that it covers everything that you need to know, but at the same time it leaves enough room for completion and also revision. So the resource that we have should be structured in such a manner that it doesn't overwhelm you. On the other hand, it makes you more confident.
And plus, it should give you the targets.
Because
exactly. The main problem with a working person and a non-working person, the main difference is that a working person in between have some duties.
Correct.
So the person do not have the time daily on the same same schedule, or a person cannot continuously spare time for 10 days. So there will be shifting hours and many times the problem of time. Correct. Clear? But if you know that you have to complete this much in 5 days, so you can plan accordingly that if I have duties in the morning, I will do in the evening. If I have duties in the evening, I will do that in the morning. So there should be some resource which give you the targets.
Correct. So a structured resource basically.
Yes.
Right. Comparison with others. Sir, you want to take this?
So definitely, if you are studying with the pace, with persistence, you are continuously doing, you are meeting your targets. So automatically you will look yourself up.
Right.
And when you compare yourself with other people now obviously you will feel better that I am also doing something good.
Right. Also, see, comparison crops up when you don't have a goal in sight. As sir very rightly said, that if we have a target in mind, if you know that for the next 4 days you have to study X subject, then there is no scope for comparison with others. Your mind is focused on completing that subject rather than thinking about things in the periphery. So that is very important. Targeted and structured course takes care of this comparison aspect also. Self-doubt, lack of discipline. Now self-doubt is something which will go lesser, which will become better as you continue to study. If you are starting today, maybe you have more self-doubt. After studying for 1 month, after completing say 7-8 subjects, your confidence definitely starts to go up. When you see that you are taking grand tests, initially you got 10% mark, but now you're getting 20% mark. Even that is a huge shift. It may not be a huge number in itself, but the difference is significant. And this lack of discipline again can be taken care of if we choose the right resource. If we can provide you with a resource where everything is structured, you are supposed to complete a subject in these many days, do a test, then another subject, then test. That takes care of the discipline problem. You just have to ensure that you have to follow the schedule that is being provided to you.
So basically, if you persistently keep working, it may not be 10 hours a day, but if you consistently keep working, maybe 4 hours, maybe 5 hours a day, but continuously, if you are persistent, obviously when you meet your targets, your self doubt keep on decreasing, and if you are continuous within 1 month continuously studying, then self doubt will go away.
Correct. All right. So we talked about this issue already. There are time limitations. So they are there. We cannot wish them away. And if there is limited time, then we have to use the remaining time properly. Students, we believe that at least 6 hours is required. If I say that you can study for 1 hour a day and crack the examination, that is not possible. But at the same time, if you can give the word sir has been using again and again is persistence, right? If you can persistently clock 6 hours a day, there is no reason why you can't get selected. Also, dear students, remember that it's not only about you. Even interns who have heavy internship, who get 4 hour, 5 hour, 6 hours a day after coming from their hospitals, even they often get selected. So it's not about that you have to study 10 hours only to get selected. Even a persistent schedule, clocking 5 6 hours can ensure that you succeed.
So here I will want to add one thing. I do not have time. This is a myth. Yeah. So important thing is, if you think that you do not have time, you will not get time. But when you think that you have to spare 6 hours for study, definitely you can find out that time. Yeah? So you will save time while eating dinner. Instead of 40 minutes, you will finish that in 20 minutes. So you can spare 20 minutes there. Yeah? So definitely, I know if you are working, you have a family, so you have so many things to do. But if you want to steal time, you can. Yeah? It's all in the mind. If you think you can spare 6 hours, you can. And no person is so busy. Remember, no one is absolutely busy. It's all about priorities.
Correct, sir.
So if you keep the studies as priority, so you can spare 5 to 6 hours definitely, howsoever busy you are.
And while sir was saying this, I was reminded of something when I was an intern. We had many JRs, junior residents in our hospital. I think 90% of JRs would, spend time in talking to each other, gossiping, and doing different stuff. But there were like 10% JRs, junior residents, who were very disciplined. They would go to the duty, they would finish the round, and then they would go to the DDR, doctor's duty room, and they would start studying. Also, they would ensure that they never went into those groups where people are talking and wasting time randomly. So some amount of discipline can take care of this problem of time. As sir said, that time is never a rarity. Time is always there. Even if you are in a busy hospital, still you would get enough time. It's all about how you use it. You don't have to spend 1 hour in the lunch. You don't have to spend 1 hour in the dinner. See, please remember that you are in a job and you are trying to achieve something which is already difficult. So you'll have to put in extra effort. You'll have to put in additional effort. What others are doing, you just cannot follow it. And
you need to do two S's here. One, steal the time. And number two, you need to sacrifice a lot of things. So particularly those who are working, they need to make a lot of sacrifices. But just think that these sacrifices are for 5 6 months only.
And they are worth it.
Think about the future. Yeah.
So this lack of group support, again, this happens if 90% of your colleagues are not studying. You may feel alone. You may feel lost. So it's very important that you get into some group where others are also in the same boat. Others are facing the same problems that you are facing, and you get energy from them and support from them. So with all these problems in mind and the possible solutions, we believe that Mission NEET PG program by Cerebellum Academy can be a game changer. And we are not saying this just for the sake of saying. Let us explain why we believe so. So, new style of coaching. Govind sir, you want to talk about this?
The conventional style of coaching, of lazy style, that you have recorded the videos and then put on the app or the social media or wherever it is, and then let the student decide when to study, when not to study, and giving thousands of hours of content without thinking what is important, what is not important. So those days are gone now. So that will not benefit even a person who is having 24 hours a day for study.
Correct.
And leave apart a student who is having
A job.
working, or who has a baby, and they have lesser time. Yeah? So important thing is, we need to devise a new style of coaching where we can, and the student can utilize his time to get the best results.
And when we talk about a new style of coaching, basically what we mean is that now students and teachers both will have to work equally hard, right? It's very easy for teachers like us to go to the studio one day, record for 10 hours, send the video and do nothing for the rest of the year. but that is not working. What we are seeing in the last 3-4 years, institutes have been doing this. They are piling up the content, and now what we have is thousands and thousands of hours, and nobody is able to complete it. And that is why, to solve this problem, Cerebellum Academy was born, and we're working very hard to find a solution to that.
So basically, here the problem with the working person is they cannot attend offline also.
Right.
Because for attending offline, they do not get that many leaves, and persistently same time he cannot be available daily. So offline is usually out of question. Yeah? And online, the problem currently is so much content and lack of proper strategy or proper schedule.
Right.
Yeah? So we try to devise a method in which we can combine the advantages of both.
Correct.
Remember, offline has some advantages but some disadvantages also.
Correct.
Whereas online also have some advantages, some disadvantages.
Correct.
So we thought of taking the advantages of both and culminate them together and take all the advantages, leaving behind the disadvantages. So what are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? I would like you to explain.
Correct, sir. So basically, this whole idea was by Dr. Gobind and Dr. Vivek only. They said that we want to combine the structured approach of offline with flexibility of online.
Yes.
What we see is, say let's take example of Gobind sir. He is the biggest faculty in the country. All of us know that. But if he wants to take offline lectures, he can maybe take an offline lecture in Delhi. Maybe he can go to Hyderabad, maybe Mumbai. What about the other places, right? This is one issue. Second issue is taking a class for 10 to 12 hours. What we know is 90% of the students, they are very happy, very enthusiastic in the beginning of the class. By the time we reach the evening, many of the students are finding it difficult to maintain the concentration. So these were the issues. At the same time, if we talk about online, we just talked about it. Piling up thousands of hours of videos without any organization, just assuming that students would take care of it, doesn't work. So this whole concept of live lectures for 4 to 5 hours a day, what it does is, first of all, it brings discipline to your study. Every day at 5:30 p.m. your lecture will start. You just have to follow it. At the same time, it's only for 4 to 5 hours, which means you can maintain the concentration. More importantly, you get enough time for revision the next day. You are not getting too tired. You can also do self-study. So all those things are taken care of when we do 4 to 5 hours of lectures per day.
But you need to little bit modify here, because if you're working, suppose you have an evening duty from 5 o'clock, you have duty, but you will get this content as a recorded one. Also. But I will advise that you make a proper schedule, try to follow the live lectures, but whenever you are not able to do because of your duty, remember there should not be any other reason. Correct. If you have duty and you cannot skip that, then see that whenever you get the time. Yeah? Maybe during the duty, if you are free, maybe 1 or 2 hours you can see at that time, and try to finish as early as possible after that live lecture if you are not able to attend the live lecture.
A simple rule of thumb is, if you have time to scroll on Instagram watching reels or YouTube watching shorts, if you have time to do those things, you also have the time to do these lectures, right? It's all about whether your intent is there or not. So if you miss a class, then you get the recorded lecture. But as sir said, that the only explanation or the only reason why you should miss a class is if you have a duty, otherwise no. So in Mission NEET PG, basically what we are doing is we are using live lectures to complete the course. For example, say Gobind sir is teaching for 4 days or 5 days. In 5 days or 4 days, he will complete the lecture. Say something like medicine will be given 7 or 8 days to complete the course. So our subject is completed, and after that, to ensure that everything is taken care of, we have a subject-wise test. A subject is completed, and the next day we have a test. Test along with live discussion. Also, students, in all these live lectures, you get the chance to interact with the faculty. You can chat with the faculty, you can ask your questions, you can ask your doubts, and the same thing happens in the discussion part also.
And basically the faculty are so much experienced that they know that within these allotted time schedule, maybe 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, depending upon the subject, they can complete all the important things with the concepts. Okay. So that even if you are studying after a long gap, maybe you are studying after 4 years, so you will not feel that you do not know anything, because we will be starting with the basics and then cover all the important concepts, and mainly targeting those things which are likely to come in exams and leaving behind the unimportant things.
So a very important point made by GRG sir. Many times what happens is, if you're in a job and if you want to prepare, you start with the quick revision or the rapid revision videos. The problem with that sometimes is that you don't get the time to build up concepts. And if you try to do the main videos, they are so exhaustive you cannot complete it. So this Mission NEET PG live lecture is like a compromise. It builds enough concepts that you can understand everything. At the same time, it ensures that the course is completed at the right time so that we have enough time for revisions.
So just keep in mind that if you have lesser time, do not take shortcuts directly.
Right.
Because if you are not able to understand and reproduce in the exam, then there is no point of doing all these syllabus concise together, but if you are not able to understand them. So very important thing is, if you are able to understand, then you can reproduce.
Right. So there's a limit to which you can ratify the facts. There has to be concepts. There has to be understanding. So in Mission NEET PG program, which is the flagship program of Cerebellum Academy, we have got two phases. Initially, we have started with the course completion phase, where we are giving enough time for the completion of each subjects. As of now, primarily we have done some short subjects, and majority of the course is yet to be completed. We are planning, I'll just show you the schedule, to complete the course somewhere in the first week of November or last week of October, like 5-7 days before INICT. And after that, we'll start with the consolidation phase, in which we'll have lots and lots of revisions. So we'll still have November, December, and hopefully mid-January. At least we are presuming that the exam would be held at least after 15th of Jan. If we get more time, it's even better. But we'll still get at least 2.5 months for the revision part. All right. So, sir, apart from the live lectures, what else will we be getting if we take Mission NEET PG?
So a student who is opting for a Mission NEET PG program of Cerebellum, so he will get complimentary access to everything which is present on the Cerebellum app. That means they will get all the recorded video lectures. Video lectures, remember, are present in both the languages, English also and Hinglish also. And in particular, if you can understand Hindi, so I will recommend see my videos in English only.
Right.
Yeah, because गाली देने का मजा हिंदी में आता है. Okay? So both are there. Then you will get the quick revision videos also, again both in English as well as English. You will get the all the Q-bank questions you can practice from there. All the granters will be there, and most importantly nowadays the thing which is in, so that is BTR of Dr. Zainab Bora. So that will also be included in this pack.
Right. So everything that you want, in going from the main videos to the concise videos, everything would be a part of this. So this Mission NEET PG is a program of 7 months. So your validity would be of 7 months. And if we talk about the subjects, we'll be starting with Dr. Dilip's medicine from August of 7th, right? And as you can see, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then there will be one GT. One subject-wise test. And then again, the second part of medicine, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we are having almost 8 days of classes, and then 2 subject-wise tests, because medicine is a big subject. Similarly for surgery and other big subjects. Shorter subjects like psychiatry or anesthesia are also given at least 3 to 4 days. So you can see the schedule. And one important thing about online classes has been that the experienced faculty, the big names like Dr. GRG, like Dr. Apur Mehra, like Dr. Vivek Jain, Dr. Sparsh Gupta, Dr. Zainab, all of these are available only on online platform because they cannot go to different cities. At the same time, in this program, we get all the experienced teachers. At the same time, we get the benefits of the offline program in the form of schedule and the discipline. So this is the broad schedule. We would be finishing the first part of the program by, say, October 29th, right? When we finish anatomy. And then we'll have 5-6 days for the INICT marathon, when we will be discussing the questions specifically for INICT. And then we will start the consolidation phase from November 6th till the NEET PG examination. So you can expect at least 2 months of revisional classes. So guys, Mission NEET PG has been created with a lot of efforts, with a lot of planning has gone into it, and it's a very beautifully structured course taking care of all the problems and the possible solutions. So if you are somebody who is doing job, who is not getting enough time, who is having issues of discipline, who is looking for a resource that can be completed in time, I think Mission NEET PG is the answer to all your problems.
So I will like to reiterate again, it's not going to be easy, but it will be worth it. Yeah. So if you are ready to sacrifice and if you are ready to steal time, then this is the time. Because just think, after the NEET PG, your life will be changed, because you will be getting your dream branch. Yeah? So based on that, start today.
Start today, take the plunge. As the sir said, it would not be easy, but it would be worth it. 6 months from today, you would be sitting in your drawing room, smiling to yourself and thinking, thank God I took that decision on that day.
So what will be the price?
Sir, the price is rupees 19,999. for 7 months duration. And two more things, you can go to our website www.cerebellumacademy.com to enroll in this course. And don't forget another thing, as we said that we want to stay connected with you throughout this journey, we don't want you to feel alone. Also join our Telegram group, which is Cerebellum Community Official, so that you can stay connected with all of us. All of us are on on the Telegram group, and we not only discuss the strategies, but we also take care of your problems.
So here, this will solve your another problem of lack of group support. So when you are in that group, so you will be interacting with other students also, and you can check your progress, and also you can talk to other people. There will be many students who are doing a job. You are not alone. Clear? So you will not feel alone here also.
So join us, guys. The program is running wonderfully. It's a lot of fun, and it's very productive. And see you in the class. All the best.
All the best.